welcome back. It's your girl, Yummy.com. Thank you for joining me for another, what's it called? Tipsy movie review. And it is actually a movie this week. As we all know, In the Heights dropped and a lot of people had a lot of things to say about it. I, being a huge fan of Hamilton and a big fan of In the Heights, even seeing it being performed, was super excited, super ecstatic about it. I watched it and then I decided not to make this video because I want to keep my good feels to myself. And this channel is all about, you know, only talking about the positive. I prefer to keep this as my positive bubble. And I didn't have a lot of positive things to say. Then I drank a little, rewatched it, and I was like, wait. Maybe there's something to this. I think the issue that I had watching it is the issue that a lot of people had watching it. We are so blown away by the things that Lin-Manuel Miranda do, and obviously we hold him on such a high esteem and pedestal, and also John M. Chu as well. We hold both of these two powerhouses on such a high pedestal that we were expecting greatness out of the gate. We were expecting to be show-stopped and wowed in the most intricate and delicate but also meaningful and passionful ways. So I admit, I came into this movie with high expectancies. I love John Chu. He directed most of my favorite step-up movies.
Which one's the real you?
Talking about his gem.
Gem and her band of sisters were...
I'm a sucker for a dance movie, so all of those movies always just like look great to me. And then also Crazy Rich Asians, which is a guilty pleasure of mine. And I love Lin-Manuel Miranda. I watch Hamilton at least once a month. I know all of the lyrics to it. I was a stage director for In the Heights performance in high school. I loved In the Heights. I watched In the Heights. I really do appreciate the things that are going into it. And on top of it, you had Anthony Ramos playing the quintessential character of Usnavi.
I am Usnavi, and you probably never heard my name. Reports of my fame are greatly exaggerated.
I love this man so much. Do not get me started. Like, yes, a lot of people went into it because they like In the Heights, they love Hamilton, they love Lin-Manuel Miranda. No, I came for the Anthony. I came and I stayed for the Anthony, okay? I love this man so much. A lot of people would know him as the quintessential role of John Lawrence.
Showtime, yeah! I'm John Lawrence in the place to be. It's 2 pints of Sam Adams, but I'm working on 3. Those red coats don't want it with me, because I will pop, pop these cops till I'm free.
In Hamilton, he also did this like off-Broadway little number where he was like, "That's me."
I was like, what the heck I gotta do? What the heck I gotta do? What the heck I gotta do to be with you? What the heck I gotta do?
I let her copy all my homework and I laid on the line. And she was like, no. She didn't say no exactly. I'm like,
no.
yeah, I was surprised. I'm a pretty nice guy. So I decided I need to step my game up. Also produced by Lin-Manuel Miranda. He also has a few EPs, and also I saw him in concert twice, back to back in Brooklyn. It was amazing. Some clips, if I have it, I will probably roll through this video because it is one of the best concerts I went to. I said that about Daveed Diggs, which is ironic because they're both on the cast, but maybe it's the location that I really love. Maybe it's the Brooklyn trade that I really love because I saw both of them at the same location which is this record store, has a concert performing place, and it's like GA, like it was really cool. And that was one of the most technically beautiful performances. Like his voice was perfect. He did a cover of The Man Who Drives Me Places. He did Black Glitter, which I love that song, and it's never anywhere that I can find it. Cue it here.
Black glitter, oh, black glitter.
He also did a duet with his then girlfriend, now fiance, probably wife, Jasmine, who is super talented in her own right. Also was on Hamilton, where they met, and she's also in the Blind Spotting movie, which I really love, and also in the Blind Spotting TV show, which I really love.
I don't know. What is our online banking password?
Baby, I'm not gonna yell that on the street. Happy New Year.
But she's also the daughter of a very famous actor. I believe he was on This Is Us as well. Like, it's a lot. Ron. So I love their whole dynamic. Jasmine and Anthony have my heart. I love them as a couple. I love them in anything they do. I support it. I watch it. I buy it, watch it, listen to Moonlight all the time, which is her single, all the time. Then on top of that, I've been going through a Brooklyn Nine-Nine spout, where drought is the right word, drought. A Brooklyn Nine-Nine drought, and I love Stephanie, who plays Rosa on Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and I love watching her in other things so much. I watched Half Magic, which she's in, and she's really funny.
Carve these candles and cast spells on them. I don't know if it's positive intention or creative visualization or actual magic, but these spells work for a lot of people. Some of my regulars call me the witch.
Especially because she's always so different from her character. Like, who she is as a person is always different from Rosa's.
Sorry, you screwed up my case. I'm sorry, you're a terrible cop. I'm sorry for your goat face and your rodent brain and your weird goose body. I meant all of that.
It's different from her character in Half Magic is
She's not my friend. Because I'm not friends with people that think I'm stupid. And we're not on our periods.
different from Carla, who she's in this.
This is like Gilligan's Ghetto Island.
What would Jesus do?
Do I look like Jesus to you?
And she's in this, and I immediately was like, if I was not hooked by the Anthony, I was definitely stolen by the Stephanie. So I went into this with the highest of hopes, and that was on me. This is as Gabby Hanna would say, manage your expectations situation. I think that with a few quick changes, this movie could have been a clear blockbuster game changer movement. But I think that also taking it so seriously when it is in fact just a musical movie about a community is hard, because you can say that, yes, it is just a musical movie. Why are people taking it so seriously? Why are people so upset about certain things? The colorism of it all, the strange fountain water pool scene. Why are people so upset? But when you think about where this is coming from, it's coming from the reason why so many people were so upset about Crazy Rich Asians, or so many people were so upset about other things. Like, it's very hard to get a minority-based movie off the ground in Hollywood. I think that it was said that Latinx community takes up about like 20 to 25% of America, yet we never see these types of films, not without them having a white lead playing as a caricature savior of some sort. The same thing goes for like Crazy Rich Asians, you can say. We never get to see a minority-driven film not without having a white savior, you know, just be there to anchor or, you know, save the poor minority people. But this was literally supposed to be a celebration of a community that does not get the respect that it truly deserves. And I think that's why people were so upset and so very critical about it. And that includes me. I was very critical about it. Don't get me wrong. This is a situation in which, like, I want to talk about the good in it, but I am very aware of the bad in it. Yes, there is a colorism issue, but there's always been a colorism issue in Hollywood. This has always been an issue in Hollywood. They're absolutely entitled to it, but I think that, again, it's because we were expecting more from a person who is built up. I particularly, outside of the colorism that is going on screen, I particularly had an issue with the movie aspect of it all. There was some strange choices made that took me out of it, and there was some strange caricature feelings that were supposed to be like Easter eggy, but an Easter egg only works if you have already the prior knowledge of it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if you've never seen In the Heights or have no reference to what it is and just are watching it for the first time here, you will not understand why they're hanging on the Lin-Manuel Miranda's character, the Boricua guy, like, so much, or why it was fun to see, like, Christopher, he was George Washington in Hamilton, he was also the original Benny in the Heights. Why it was fun to see that exchange, because that Easter egg didn't hit correctly. I think there's a lot of directorial, I would say, and writing choices that were strange and that made you overlook the overall thesis and amazingness of it. I'm gonna start off, it's like 10 minutes into the video. I'm gonna say the things that I absolutely could not stand. Obviously the colorism in it, like, obviously Benny is meant to be black, but like everybody else was very fairly light skinned, and like that's not really indicative of Washington Heights. If you've taken a subway through Washington Heights, you know. So obviously the colorism in it, that's already been discussed to death. Another issue I had with it was 96,000. When I saw they were putting out pieces of it already, I did not watch it. I did not want to. I was like, I want to go into this blind, wholeheartedly. 96,000, that number was so strange. The editing choices that were made and the shooting and directing choices that were made for such a seminal number that has been so beloved by so many. Even if you don't know In the Heights, you know 96,000. So it's like Rent and, you know, 525,000. So everybody knows that. Even if you don't know Rent, you never seen Rent, you know that. So putting it in the pool made it just so weird and disjointed. The beginning part of it was kind of cool. The editing,
Stay out the rodeo.
little like overlays were very TikTok-y and, like, you know, with the time. So I'm like, I forgave that. Not forgave. I like understood why that choice was made. I don't think it should have been made in that moment because it felt very disconnected from the rest of the movie. The pool, everyone looked uncomfortable in the pool. Everybody looked uncomfortable in that pool scene, and I did not like it. I love the song. I love the sentiment of it. I love the spraying, the beach towels, all of that. But like them, I don't know what it was. Just them setting that in the pool, everybody just looked uncomfortable in the pool. It didn't need to happen. The song was great on its own. The music is one thing that I will say is not lacking in this. It's amazing. It's amazing. But we all knew the music was going to be amazing. At least I knew. I know Anthony Ramos can carry a tune. Like, I know these people that he has casted will be able to sing, but it was very disjointed. Another thing is that the connectivity between the songs were, again, disjointed, and I don't necessarily blame Lin-Manuel Miranda for this, because he is, like, even within the Heights, and especially with Hamilton, there's not a lot of talking that goes on. It's mostly song to song. So when the dialogue was meant to happen, it felt awkward and, like, not well handled or written.
10 minutes, cariño. What are you writing? A time machine?
Excuse me.
Did you see me? Freak it. What a way to begin the weekend, sonny. Anything you want is free.
some of the shot choices, like deciding to do Benny and Nina's duet upside down, it didn't need to happen. I think that that is the issue. It's the juxtaposition of what they were trying to do and what they were actually doing. If you just wanted to make a fun musical, full The Greatest Showman, like The Greatest Showman does not have any super deep or like necessarily like threaded themes. It has a couple of interesting shots, but it's mostly to tell the story of this circus life. If that's what they were trying to do and what just 100% nailed down, stuck to that, then I think it would have been a much better piece. I think that where this failed a little bit is where I would say Crazy Rich Asians did a little bit better, and it's the consistency of like what you're watching. I don't like feeling so disjointed. A lot of the pieces made it feel disjointed. Whether it was, again, the shooting choices, the editing choices, the disjointing dialogue from scene to scene. The music was, again, amazing. Some of the shots were beautiful, spectacular, especially when you have a landscape like New York, especially Washington Heights. It's lovely. And let's be honest, the salon ladies stole the show. Daniela, Carla, and Kuka really just sold everything for me. I loved it. They brought the energy, they brought the everything, and is one of the reasons why I have reconsidered and really like the movie.
She screams, "Who's in there with you, Julia?"
Daniela.
Grabs the bat and kicks in the door.
Carla.
He's in bed with Jose from the liquor store.
No me diga. And that's Kuka, the salon ladies.
Kuka.
Gorgeous. Linda, tell me something I don't know. Yeah. Sucia, cabrona. Tell me something I don't know. A little off the top, a little on the side. A little bit of news you heard around the barrio. Tell me something I don't know.
Bye, people.
Bye.
Ungrateful.
I was very, very happy with how they did Carnival de Barrio, because that is my favorite song from the entire film. I was so happy with Stephanie's part specifically in that, because it was so cute. I had seen it on accident before I saw the movie, and I knew, I was like, I love it. I love it. I love it.
My mom is Dominican, Cuban. My dad is from Chile and PR, which means I'm Chile, Dominican, but I always say I'm from Queens.
So when I had already seen 96,000, and then I knew we were headed towards Carnival de Mario, I was like, please don't mess this up, and they didn't. I really liked it. I cried when Abuela Claudia died. That whole scene of him singing, and then the people coming to the stoop. Was very beautiful. The blackout scene was cool. The club scene was weird. again. It just felt like it felt like a couple of tweaks and it would have been great, but it just wasn't quite there yet. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm like at with it. Obviously it moved me, with some of the stuff, it made me cry. There was no doubt in my mind that I wasn't going to some degree enjoy it, because again, when you have my favorite actor portraying something, singing musicals that I love, like, and I'm a musical girl, like musical theater to my bones, obviously there's going to be some joy in it. But I think where we all went wrong is expecting it to be this big culture reset, and it was not. It was a movie for the summer that has been out, and I think that's where it fell flat. Especially, like, I had just been watching literally for the 10th time Inside by Bo Burnham, so I was prepared walking in for my mind to be blown, just because I walked into that and my mind was out the door, gone. There is something to say about the Spanish in the film. I did like that a lot, because the thing is, at no point did you not know what was going on.
This flag that I got in my hand. Can we raise our voice tonight? Can we make a little noise tonight? Can we sing so loud and raucous they can hear us across the bridge and needs to caucus?
But like, there were also a lot of points where they weren't speaking English, but you knew what was going on. You got it. You got what was going on, and I think that's super important. They talked about it on Seth Meyers' show, but I think that's super important to like have. I wanted to really love it, and I did not love it as much as I wanted to. Upon rewatching it, I understood why I didn't love it as much, and I did find the joys in rewatching it. I'm not telling you to go rewatch it, and maybe you'll like it more, but if it is jam-packed with your favorite actor and actress and something that you love, then maybe you'll find a little bit more joy in it. Again, Carnival del Barrio, I replayed that part. If the whole movie was like Carnival del Barrio and like, you know, more Afro-Latinas, but if the whole movie was like that, just a giant celebration of this community, I feel like I would love it a lot more, and it would feel a lot more authentic to what the musical was. But I feel like with a movie, there's certain differences that you know, happen and have to happen. There are also some choices that were made in like timing of things, of moving of songs, that I didn't agree with, but I'm not gonna get into that because I didn't write the musical, so he can put the songs wherever he wants, whatever. So that's really what I have to say about it. I just wanted to be very, very honest. I know I tried to be very, very happy and very, very positive on this channel, but I thought it would do no help to just gloss over this, especially because it was something that I was looking forward to doing. Like, I've had this in my calendar. I knew I was going to do a Tipsy movie review for this since December of last year. So it felt disrespectful to just not do it, but I also didn't want to like just sit here and bash the whole thing, because that's not how I feel. But I knew that's how it could come off, because especially when you have things like this, like when you have films that portray a certain community that does not get portrayed often, and it is not well received, it does not warrant well. So a lot of the times we all feel like we have to love it, because if we don't love it, who will? Like, if we don't put love on this, then what's going to happen to the next all Latina cast, Latinx cast that tells their stories? What's going to happen in that next Hollywood room? So I know a lot of us feel like we have to like it. Like, and the same thing goes for everything. Like, with every all non-white cast. Like, you feel like you have to love and support it so much, but I wanted to be also honest. I do like the movie. I don't love the movie like I thought I would, but I do like the movie. I think the actors did the best that they could. I don't think like the acting was terrible. I think that it was funny where it needed to be, but it just wasn't consistent throughout the whole story. And yeah, so, but I saw Anthony Ramos, and I think he was shirtless in a scene, so that kind of like blocks my whole mind out. I'm sorry, Jasmine girl, I'm so sorry. But yeah, that's just how I feel about it. If I have to give it a drink, because that's what we do here on Tipsy Movie Review, and I'm on my soapbox, so I'm sorry. But that's what we do here on Tipsy Movie Review. If I have to give it a drink, I would give it a pina colada. Because a pina colada is what everyone associates with like, you know, going to Cancun or like Puerto Rico for like vacation. And I feel like that's what this was. This was like Heritage Light. You know what I'm saying? Like, it did a good general job, but it wasn't something. And again, this is from the perspective of someone who is not Hispanic in any way, not Latina in any way, not Latinx in any way. Like, you know, I'm 100% Nigerian American, so maybe I didn't understand a lot of the references and maybe I missed it, but you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what I'm saying. I just said, you know what I'm saying, 1,000 times. So that's why I'm going to give it a pina colada, because it is a general version, a light kind of, I would say, I don't want to say bastardized version. That's so harsh. Saying bastardized version is so harsh and not what I mean. It is just a general version of something that is supposed to be truly close to the Latinx culture. Yeah, so that's why I'm gonna give it a pina colada, because it's been Americanized a little bit. So that's why I'm gonna give it a pina colada. With that being said, thank you for watching. I'm Yummy.com. Don't worry, I will be back. So stay tuned, my internet friends, and tell me what you think about In the Heights in the comments. Feel free to be honest. This is where we'll be honest. But if a white person asks us any questions, we loved it and we want more.